Sup homies, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Tonda Romana dough. Let's go. Guys, I'm going to keep as simple as possible to show you guys how to make the Romana dough. We've got 5 ingredients. I'm going to put all the description details so you can have a look at that later on, so don't worry about too much about the measurements for now. So we've got the water, which is 575 mils. We've got some olive oil here, which has got 25 grams. We've got 1 kilo of type 1 flour. I'll go for the flour later on, and we've got some 20 grams of sea salt. So just 5 ingredients with the yeast as well. Fresh yeast I use because of the temperature at the moment. For 1 kilo I'll be using half a gram of fresh yeast, but obviously we regulate that to the temperature, which I'll explain into more detail now. So guys, I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. We've got 5 ingredients. I'll put everything down in the post description, so don't worry about too much about the measurements, but I'll let you know what we got. So we've got water, 575 grams of water, 25 grams of olive oil, 20 grams of sea salt, 1 kilo of type 1 flour, and the yeast, I'm going to use half a gram of yeast for this type, and the duration of fermentation. So I just want to speak a little bit about the yeast. Obviously in winter you're going to be wanting to using more, and in the summer obviously using it less. So obviously it's a warmer evening, 25 degrees roughly inside here on the thermostat. So what I do, I've got an app called PizzApp, P-I-Z-Z app. It's free on the App Store. Go check it out. So to give you an idea of what I've put in here, I've put 9 dough balls at 180 grams. So these will be 180 gram dough balls. Water hydration, 57%, which is perfect for a Romana pizza. 2.9 grams of salt. And we're going to be doing an 18-hour room temperature fermentation. So you have to sort of work out when you're going to ball up. These typically in summer need about 2 to 3 hours of balling up to rest before you start making and cooking your pizza. So, and the yeast, again, half a gram of yeast for this temperature. And obviously, like I said, if it's going to be a low or high temperature, you can change the room temperature. I won't be able to show you on the camera because it won't say, but it says RT, which stands for room temperature. And as you turn it up, obviously the yeast goes down. And obviously in the colder months, you turn it down, let's say for 20 room temperature Celsius is 1 gram. So obviously it goes up. But for this one here, we're going to be using half a gram. Let's go. So I've got a little bit of fresh yeast here, and I'm going to sort of just put it on there until it goes to 1 gram. So there we go, 1 gram already. And because I only need half a gram of yeast, you don't need a lot because we're doing a longer room temperature fermentation. You don't need a lot of yeast at all. So I literally just half that. And look at that, it's just a small ball of yeast, and that's all we're going to need for it to slowly rise overnight. Another little tip: if it's going to be a colder night, if it's going to, you look at the temperature, and what I do is if it tends to drop down overnight, I'm like, well, it's going to drop down to quite a low temperature. I like the yeast just a little bit, put a little bit extra in if you like, and you can sort of work out, and it's all trial and error. Everything we've ever done for room temperature, you sort of learn as you go. So you're regulating the yeast all the time to be ideally fermenting just in time for when you want to ball up, and then a few hours from there to settle down. And to give you an idea on how long to ball up for pizza, typically in summer can be 2 hours, a couple of hours, 3 hours, but in winter can be a lot longer than that. On the hottest day of the year, you probably only need an hour or 2, you know. So it's all about trialing and error. The way we've always done it at room temperature, I feel it's the best dough that I've ever made, and I sort of stick to what I know. It's taken a long time to get used to how to regulate the yeast room temperature, but yeah, try it, see how you go. Obviously you can use the fridge as well, and then it's a constant temperature all the time. And obviously on that app as well, it will tell you, you can go into settings and change it to CT, which is cold temperature as well. But for this exercise, it's all at room temperature. So let's go ahead and make the dough, and yeah, I'll show you. So what I tend to do is I put the water in first. By the way, this is a spiral mixer. If you haven't got a spiral mixer, you can use like a KitchenAid with a hook on it. And obviously you can do it by hand as well, just get a big bucket together, but make sure that you keep the yeast and salt separately, because otherwise the salt kills the yeast. So make sure you bear that in mind. Right, so we've got the water in. Next is going to be the flour. I'll explain to you what the flour that we use, which is a type 1 flour. I'll show you the bag actually, so you can have a look. This is a Casillo Molino, really lovely type 1 flour. It's got wheat germ in there as well, so it's really nice flavour as well. But yeah, I mean, you can use any type of flour to make this sort of pizza. But for us, type 1 is amazing. It gives that crunch. I absolutely love it. So yeah, let's start putting in the flour little by little. So I'll put a little bit in there first of all. Probably about half is fine. There we go. Close it up, turn that on. And I'm going to show you guys that now. So as you can see, it's going and mixing it all up. There we go. So once that's all mixed up a bit more as well, let's bring you guys up. Right, so once it's all sort of built up like a paste, let's say, that would be the time to add in the yeast, which is here. So it needs a few more minutes on that. So as you can see, it's sort of getting that consistency. I'm just going to literally just drop the yeast in there. Just turn it up slightly, let that spin in and just do its thing. And then what we're going to do, just keep adding in a little bit of flour, little by little, building it up. So I'm going to show you that at the end. Just keep adding in the flour once it's all mixed in. And I'll show you at the end where we add in the olive oil and salt. There we go, and I've got the rest of the flour in there. I'm just going to let that build up slowly until it becomes one. And then what I'll do is I'll add in the olive oil, and then the salt I'll add in last. Just a little tip as well, if it's a really, really hot day or a warm evening, what you need to do is use a little bit of ice. So what you do is, say 575 millilitres of water, you can put 400 ml of water in there, just normal cold water, put it in your mixer. Then what you do is you weigh out 175 grams, which is the remaining in ice, on the scales, chuck it in, let it melt, obviously because you don't want to damage your mixer, and then that will make your water cold, and you'll have the same amount that you ended up with, which is 575 mils of water for this one. So a little pro tip there for you, I hope that helps you out. We're almost ready to put in the olive oil, which I'm going to show you now. So as you can see, it's starting to build up now, so I'm going to pour in my olive oil. There we go. Lovely. Let that mix in. And then once that's fully done, the last thing I'll add in is the salt, which I'll show you in a sec. So now that's all combined. Last thing to use is the salt. We're going to pour that in. There we go. Lovely. We're going to let that fully combine. And actually speed it up slightly as well. Looking good. So what you want to do next is, when it's fully combined and it's been going for a little while, you want to get a probe to test. So you want to be looking between 22 and 24C. This is slightly more, it's 25, but again, that's why you need ice sometimes in hot weather like it is now. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So yeah, that'll still be absolutely fine anyway. So, but yeah, just bear in mind, if you need the dough to be cooler, then put a little bit of ice in there within your water measurements of 575 ml. Any questions, give us a shout in the comments. We're going to let this ferment overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to ball these up into 190 gram dough balls, and let them rest, and then we can roll them out ready to cook. So that's been sitting in there for probably about 5 minutes, and because it's a lower hydration dough as well, it's going to come out a lot easier as well. But if you're cooking Neapolitan pizza, if you leave it in there for about 10 minutes, it comes out so much more easier. So don't take it out straight away, because it will just be an absolute mess. It is better to just leave it in there to let it do its thing. So we're going to take this out now. I'm going to put it out in this bowl. We're going to let that ferment overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you balling up process and how we ball them up ready to cook your pizza. So I'll see you tomorrow. One thing I didn't mention is we just want to get it on the counter a bit, just to roll it up and just get it in the best ball shaped as possible. That'll do, job done. I found a bigger container in the end because we're going to have to allow it to let it rise. Make sure it's covered like as so it doesn't dry out. And there we go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll ball up this bad boy here. Right, we're back and our dough is magically risen. So this is double the size plus a little bit more probably, which is all good. It's fully risen, that's the main thing. So what we're going to do is what I usually do is sprinkle a little bit of semolina on there just to stop it sticking a little bit. Makes it easier, manageable. So my scales are set to 0. Just going to grab a chunk out like this. I'm going to weigh it. We want it to be about 180 grams to 190 grams. That's 200, that's too much. Take a little chunk off. 188, I'll take that. So what we're going to do is let me show you how I'm going to ball this. So obviously I've got the chunk of dough here. You want the smooth top. So you're just going to bring it underneath like this with your tops of your palms here, both on there like that. And you're just going to stretch it underneath. Keep bringing it under, keep bringing it under, keep bringing it under. And what we do, we're going to end up with a nice soft top. And what we're going to do is bring it round. I'll show you what I do here. Bring it round like that. And I sort of lock that in. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that. And that becomes a perfectly ready-made dough ball there. And as you can see, you probably see the wheat germ on there. Just the little bits of brown bits on there. Beautiful dough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a tray. I haven't got any dough trays today, so I'm going to utilise this tray here. And I'm going to ball up what I need for tonight. I'm going to cook a few dough balls, cook a few pizzas for the family. And yeah, 190 grams, that'll do. So anything between 180 and 190, because I'm going to roll these thin. They're going to take about 2 to 3 hours to settle down, because it's a bit cooler today. So we're going to let that settle down for a bit, and then when they're ready later, because what we want to do, we want to let that gluten relax, because we want to stretch that dough. We're going to roll it thin, and then to get it even thinner, you're going to want to stretch it out to make it even more thin. 190, there we go. Roll that underneath like that. Bring it back round. Lock it in. Job done. So I'm going to do about 4 of these total. Stay tuned, because I'm going to teach you all the tips and tricks on how to cook these bad boys as well. In the pizza oven. What we got? 185, perfect. Bringing it underneath, bring it underneath. Bring it back round. Gonna lock in the air. There we go. Gonna do 4 there, that's enough. I'd always do 1 extra in case I mess one up. Always a good idea. So I'm going to cling film these up now, so the air doesn't get to it and doesn't create a skin, because you don't want to leave it out in the open air because it will create a skin. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. If you liked this video and it became very helpful to you and you learned a lot, just tap that subscribe button. I do this for free, and it's really just to educate people on how to make great dough, and obviously it helps build my channel as well. So like this video and just subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll be cooking these up, and I'll do a whole new video on that as well. I'll see you in the next one.